Let's see. All right, guys. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Wind Down Wednesday, February, what's today, the 10th?
Yeah, I need to get it
With
together.
myself, Marcus Merritt, Nicole Hunter, and our extra special guest, Damian Palmer. Damian, thanks for being on tonight.
Oh, no problem, man.
Guys, we talk about all things tonight, real estate and real life related. And we have some awesome topics we are so excited to share with you tonight.
Right,
So
exactly.
as always, we like to start off each show with like a positive affirmation or a good thing that's happened to you this week. So Damian, you as our guest, feel free to start off and have the floor.
Oh man, it's so much great things that happened to me this week. One of the best thing is that hey man, I woke up this morning, but on top of that, I got my survey back, and right now all surveys have been like 2 to 3 weeks out. I got mine 4 days, and that was like amazing.
That's awesome. Now, how long did it take to get that?
The survey, it literally he did it. It took him about a week. I called him on Thursday. He went out on Saturday, and then I literally took him like 4 days after that for me to get it.
It's a pretty fast turnaround.
Yeah, and it was just timing, really. It was just timing. I kind of caught them in between something, and they were close to it, so they're like, "Hey, we'll just go out there." Hey, William, don't spray that.
It's interesting because my surveyor has always been a week out. So I don't know what y'all been experiencing.
Nah, but with right now, there's a lot of surveyors that, like, most of the ones that I usually use, they're like 2 to 3 weeks out.
That's what I've been hearing. Actually, I heard somebody say 30 days today. So
that was me.
That's pretty fast.
That was me. We have a project that we're doing.
Oh, that's what it was. It was in an email you said. I saw.
Yeah, we have a project that we're doing a second floor addition for a client, and the survey company she chose to use, they told me today for a site plan, 30 days.
Wow.
I did see that. Yeah.
So we're looking more like May or June before we can get her finished. Now, mind you, we started with her back last year, November.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been some steps, but hopefully, once we actually break ground, maybe it'll move a little bit faster. That's always the goal. I feel like sometimes the pre-work always takes so long, and then once you actually get going on the process, it goes a bit faster.
So this property is actually sitting two blocks away from Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's an R5 lot, so it's definitely a nice project.
Nice.
Wow. Okay.
What's your timeline on it right now?
So pretty much I got the survey during my due diligence. So right now, pretty much we're gonna go close on it, and then we kind of get the drawing done and go from there. So, but the last permit that we did, it wasn't even mine. It was a consultant client of mine, and it took him 6 months to get a permit from the city on an addition. And the crazy thing, one of those 6 months, it literally sat on the counter. We're calling him. We're like, okay, what's going on? And then one person I got in touch with was like, oh, it was on my desk. We forgot. I'm like, oh, that's nice. At least they were honest. At least they
were honest. You're right.
So you gotta love it.
Yeah. Nothing you can do, really.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
Nicole, what about you? Any positive, good things, affirmations of the week you want to share?
I'm just gonna say I'm just highly blessed and not full of stress. That's all I'm gonna say this week.
Man, amen to that.
That's a good one.
Yes, highly blessed and not full of stress. That's all I want to do. And this is my second day in the week that I've been strung out on liquor.
So that usually helped the non-stress part of it.
Well, I'm gonna put it out there because some people don't know that Nicole is also a tax professional. So not only is she literally running our real estate company, but also doing the tax company too. So she is like running, what do you call it? Burning the candle at both
Yeah.
ends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was
wow.
up to that. So this is my sheet. So every day I come in the morning and I write down a full list of everything I need to do. And that's including all businesses. And I got 2 pages worth, and I only made it halfway through today.
Ooh.
So,
wow.
and then I'm going, so this week I did site views. Went to look at the sites and took pictures. And yesterday I was out all day, and I shouldn't have been out all day, but couldn't be helped. So I lost a lot of time yesterday. So
Yeah.
I'm getting back in. So I park my booty right here in this chair, and I don't move for hours. I'm here at 9, and I don't. Here it is, almost 9 o'clock. Going on
Yeah,
12.
you gotta do that sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
sucks.
by the way,
but-
I want to share this for all of you folks out there that feel it's okay to go to people's job sites and steal their lumber. You will get yours. We had our whole
Listen.
pallet of 2x4 stolen last night.
Listen,
$1,000.
listen. You don't want me to start up some stories. Woo!
You will get yours. It's
I've
coming.
had so listen to this, and I've had a fully renovated property, stage, clients in. They stole the front door, nothing else, just the front door, a painted front door, and they didn't kick in the door either. The hinges and everything were fine. They took it off neatly. They actually took the trim and leaned it against the wall so it didn't get damaged.
Oh my
That's so
God, that's
weird.
insane.
And
That's
they
a
left
contract.
they left the furniture and all the appliance.
So
That's
it
a
was
contract.
staged and they didn't take any of that
Nope.
stuff?
Nope, they just wanted to.
That's so weird.
No cameras, no alarms.
Right after that happened, we put cameras and alarms and everything.
Oh, okay.
The crazy thing is we typically have cameras and alarms and all that, but that one was just, and that's the thing, you can't get caught slipping, so you always have to be on it immediately.
Amen. Amen. Because we have a camera that was facing the opposite direction of where that wood was sitting.
So I've even caught them on camera stealing lumber, license plate number and all, and the police officer still didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They
Well, let's bring to that.
went to their
Because
house
they think-
and they're like, hey, we didn't catch them in the act. So I'm like, but the cameras show everything.
That's the purpose of having the cameras for us to catch them in the act, for you to act on the act.
Yeah.
Well, unbelievable.
So somebody did ask Damien, was it a nice front door?
It was. He said it was
Yeah.
like 8.
Here's the crazy thing is that when I went to go back and find it, they didn't have any more of those doors. We had to actually buy a completely different door. So I'm like, okay, now I see why you stole the front door.
Look, you might
But
need
what
to
did it
drive
look like?
around
Was it
Lakewood
modern?
and see if you see that door.
Was
But-
it modern?
Not even. It's like one of those, the one with the 4 grids on the window where everybody's using right now anyways, and it's like, it's crazy.
Times are hard
Unbelievable.
out here.
Yeah, it had to be a contractor though, because they took it off too neat. They
Oh
actually-
yeah,
you know,
it's a contractor, so they didn't want to go buy now. So they're gonna. Was yours painted too?
Yeah, it was painted.
Yeah, they didn't want. Yeah, they was trying to get ready for their open house.
was-
Mother freakers.
And a bright color too. You know, I love my bright colors. So I was like, I'm driving around the block like, where that color at right there?
Oh, exactly. So they'll get there. So we're gonna cheers to all you thieves who think you're gonna get away with it. It's a time where you will take a loss for stealing from us.
So you
Yeah,
know what my
I'm-
plan is now, right? For all of them, is I'm renovating every vacant property I can find. I'm sorry for you, ain't gonna have nowhere to stay because I'm renovating everything.
That's what you gotta do. Once
You
that
ain't-
neighborhood clean, they gonna go
Yeah.
to another
You
neighborhood.
ain't gonna have nowhere to stay because when we finish renovating, we buying the block, so we renovating everything.
Here,
See,
here.
you gotta start following the squatter. Don't let them follow you. You gotta follow them.
Like,
Exactly.
Where you go.
What house you going to? Okay, let me skip trace that.
I got a couple skip trace addresses in East Point I need to get done. I need three skip
Yeah.
trace so I can get them
Yeah.
because they try to come and steal. They try to steal my block. These investors out here stealing my block. They
Yeah.
need to go. They don't even want to be in East Point. Now you want to come and try to command 70, 80,000 for a lot we know it's only worth 30, 35. Are you
Yeah.
serious? Are you serious? I'm gonna get the
Price
hell on.
gouging. That's what I told you. They price gouging.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the hell on. I'm gonna move on to another neighborhood.
As soon as you get framed up, we need to do a walkthrough at one of your projects, man. I would love to do a walkthrough at like one of the events. Invite a bunch of people and get them out there, man.
Absolutely. Let's plan it because
we're almost done. We're almost done framing basically on Lyle.
Yeah, we just wrapped it today. It's been fully wrapped today. And we got bad rain for the next 4 days. My window guy was supposed to come back and start putting the windows in, but
how long is your window orders out? Because I know even windows are like 4 weeks out right now.
Well, yeah, I took 5 weeks, but I ordered my windows as soon as I had my plans.
Yeah.
And then I ordered a container and I store my windows in the container.
Man, you smart.
Yeah. I ain't got
That's the
time.
best way to do
I
it
ordered
now.
my doors, my interior doors and my windows, and I just bought a container, put it on the job site, and I put my shit in there. So when we ready, we ready.
So
ready.
I know an investor that did that, and they took everything out the everything out the pod.
Damn.
Yeah,
They broke the lock?
Mm-hmm. Nah, they didn't break the lock. They broke the pod and just yanked out everything.
Oh, like broke into the steel pod?
Yeah.
Oh man.
How the hell they get in there?
I got stories, man. We do this for real.
Like a chainsaw or something?
But you know the funny thing is though, you see, and I don't want it to make people think it's like that all the time. But the thing is, once you start doing a lot of volume, it just seems like that because you're just doing volume. If you're doing 1 or 2 or 3 at a time, you're not gonna really see it like that. But when you start doing a lot of volume, it's just automatic, and it might even sometimes be the same person. So like even right now we have cameras and most of our projects, not even most of all of them, we have a T-Mobile Love Me for my hotspots that I buy and my Blink cameras that I put up. But you know, it's a necessity to protect everything that we're doing right now.
Absolutely.
But once people move in though, and nobody gonna mess with them.
No.
And also the neighborhoods too, especially how you guys are doing East Point as well too. By the time you guys are changing the neighborhood one project at a time. So I'm telling you, like later on, and this is when a lot of people that are smart are buying into these neighborhoods because even investor, I looked at what I was buying in the same exact neighborhood 2 years ago, and I'm like, man, I should have bought a lot more. Because now I'm looking at that same property, ugly as ever, with a $40,000 more price tag on it.
That's what they're doing now. So I talked to a wholesaler Monday. He's trying to sell me the lot that I went under contract with the owner twice. And the owner never did, after he signed, he never did follow through with closing. So yeah, it was, go ahead.
I've argued with a wholesaler on a property that I own because they're trying to sell it to me, and I'm having fun with them too. And they're sending me like, "This is the price." And I'm like, "You sure you can't get the seller down lower than that?" They're like, "Let's see what he could do." And he comes back at me. I don't know who he talking to because he came at, "Well, we got it down $5,000." I'm like, "Sure, that's the best you can do on that one." That's what you can do on that one. And they're like, "Okay." I'm like, "All right, let's get it on the contract."
Oh my God.
I'm like, so did you look who owned that? Did you check the records and see who owned that property? You know that's my company, right?
Oh my God! Wow! That's crazy. That's wild.
Okay, so for me, my positive affirmation good thing of the week was actually I got an email yesterday that Arta magazine company here in Atlanta called Shout Out Atlanta did a feature on me about, I guess, like Black business owners for Black History Month in Atlanta. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Like stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you know, I tell Nicole all the time, it's like we work so hard, and you know, just to even be recognized for the hard work you do, even if it's just one person telling you like, "Oh, you're doing a good job," you just feel that, because sometimes you don't get that positive affirmation, especially when you're going through stuff like, you know, working 12-hour days, and like she said, lumber getting stolen and back up on permits, and you go through all those things. You don't see the positive sometimes. So it is good.
Exactly.
You're right. No, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. Because a lot of times after that, you go to sleep and wake up tomorrow again and like, okay, let's get it going again.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
exactly. We up at the crack of, I actually didn't sleep at all last night because I had a list of shit that I left on my desk when I left. So that's mentally planted into your brain. So I was
Yeah.
up all night just thinking about all this shit that I had to do today. That's crazy. I gotta stop doing it. That's
So,
wow. I couldn't sleep at all
so
last night.
you really need to start doing this. Because one of my coaches told me that because I was doing that at one time too. You have to set a time and say, after this time, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Do it because, like, right now, you're just creating a nice job for yourself. And that's not the reason you're doing this business right now. So
Mm-hmm.
you're giving yourself, you're a high paid worker right now in your own business, but that's not serving you right now.
Nope. You're right. Absolutely.
I
You're
agree.
right.
Good tip.
I
Okay,
agree.
so we'll jump into our first topic here, guys. It says, what is the one best tip that you tell new investors who are starting out in the business today that reach out to you?
Don't. Nah, I'm messing with you. You know what? Right now, for anybody starting off, is just be intentional and just stay consistent. And that's pretty much it. Be intentional and stay consistent. You know, once you whatever it is you figure out you want to do, figure out don't you gotta operate just like this. You can't watch what everybody else is doing because you get lost, man. One of my biggest mistakes when we first started out, I was like a cat chasing that little light that you have shining all over the place, and everywhere that light went, I went. So I went to Decatur because everybody was saying Decatur was hot. I couldn't find a deal. And they say, oh, go to West End. So I'm at West End looking for deals. And they say, no, go Northeast. And I'm going over there looking for deals. And I'm like going everywhere looking for deals. And I'm always one step behind everybody until I just reached the point where I just said, hey, I'm staying in Lakewood. And hey, I'm going to just focus in this one zip code until I really do it. And what we're going on 4 years in September this year, we'll make it 4 years we're in the zip code, and we've bought over 40 properties in the zip code.
That's awesome.
I literally remember actually, Damien, when we met at your property.
Yeah, you remember? Yeah.
He showed me like 2 other houses he had in the area, and I said, Damien, stay here. Don't fight with these other wholesalers buying here, there, everywhere, because this is now your area. People are going to know you. You have a certain design. You know, his wife works with him, and she, helps with that development, and she's an agent. So it's like, y'all are a team. Stay here. You don't need to go nowhere else, and I think a lot of investors get caught up in that. So for me, I would
remember because you came and did, it was Marketing Tuesday. You did a walkthrough of the property, and we were talking about that same thing right there.
Yeah,
and 2 years ago.
That's just what I tell other investors that reach out to me if they want to get in real estate. I'm like, find a niche and stay there. Because too many people are trying to compete with other people. People message me in the call all the time. They're like, why are y'all in East Point? Why don't y'all come to Atlanta? Why don't y'all come to Cobb County? Why don't y'all come to Gwinnett? Why? Why would we want to move from where we've been successful at to an area we don't have as much experience in and compete with 100 other people that are probably
exactly.
And everybody already scared of East Point because you will not compete with me at East Point because you need a whole different type of mindset when you go into East Point. And people don't even understand that. You can't go to East Point with the same mindset as other neighborhoods because it's a whole nother beast out
there. Exactly. I agree. I agree.
What about you? What advice do you give to like newer investors that reach out to you and have any questions and stuff?
Stay consistent, as Damien had mentioned, and be persistent in what it is that you want to do, and learn your craft and be open to other options in other directions, in other areas, and not always go where someone else tell you to go or do whatever somebody else tell you to do, because you won't make it. You won't make it in this business. This business right here is sweat, heart, and tears. Is it sweat, heart, and tears, or tears, sweat, and something? Yeah, that's called
blood, sweat, and tears, right?
Yeah. That analogy. The bottom line is this: we've been at this since 2014, and this has been the toughest business ever. And there's been times where I wanted to kill my husband, and then there's been times I would just love him to death. So you have to have that. You have to have that gap, and that gap is that gift that you go and you get and you grab a hold of and you make it happen and you make it be yours, and you just got to keep moving and you got to stay consistent. That's just it.
Yeah, you're right.
That's just
You're
it.
right. Because there's times in this business when I'm like, man, I want to quit. I'm done. It's
Mhm.
over. I don't care what's going on right now. Let's just sell everything right now, pay everybody back, and just go. And my wife looking at me like, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how I
We
feel.
looking at you right now. How you go? You can't. You don't even have the option to feel like that. But we looking at you right now to be leading and setting certain tones right now. So if you feeling like that, imagine us. So you
Yeah.
just pull the big boy pants up and start operating again.
Yeah, because this business will make you want to call it quits over and over and over again. But when I call it quits, I wake up the next morning and be like, okay, so let's get this thing popping. Let's try a different direction. I'm constantly re-innovating the wheel, reinventing myself, ideas, and coming up with a better way that we can make this happen.
And one more thing I want to add on to that I think all three of us will agree on is you're always learning every day.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, every day I feel like I learn something new, even if it's something small, you know. I can't remember. I think maybe it was Monday, Nicole. We were at the office and then we went out to the property. Then you were showing me something about, I guess, a certain way that the LVOs had to be laid if you were doing like a third floor versus a second floor or something like that. And I never heard that before, you know. So just even that.
Yeah, and I just had a complete session with Al, which is our general contractor who has been forever before Michael got his license yesterday. Even Michael is still, you know, grasping on the importance of knowing the framer you have and what they're doing and how they're structuring your home, because that will fall back on you later if you didn't know. So we literally had 28 items that the framer that we used for the very first time didn't do right. If you don't know that, you'll be fucked. So you have to be willing and open to learn.
So I have a buddy right now that lives in a Modernville, 3-story, and one of the first floor LVL was done wrong, and the only way to fix it right now is to put a post in the middle of his house.
Wow. Damn.
On an open floor.
And the inspector didn't catch it.
It passed. Everybody passed. It passed everything. So now they're finding a way to tear. Now think about that. That's 2 stories above this. So to fix it, you literally have to lift all that weight off of it, and so it's challenging. So think about how to fix something like that. So catch it.
That's exactly what's happening. We got LVLs that are spanning across the house, and they're resting on windows, and he has the what we call over the top of the windows that we got to pull out and put LVLs there to support the weight on both sides of the span, so that the windows don't crush and bust. So these are things, and you have to. Everybody doesn't know this. When you put LVLs in, and whenever you do a wall that's carrying a lot of weight, if you got 4 pieces of 2x4s that's up top, and you don't carry it all the way down to the floor, you have a problem.
Yeah. So, and a lot of people don't even do that because the load transfer all the way if it's across to your crawl space point.
Yes. So it's a lot of lessons that you learn in this game, and once you have it, then you know you'll be bigger and better.
All right,
for sure.
Good points, guys. Okay, so this next topic here kind of wraps into what we were just talking about. It says that lumber prices are 112% higher than they were a year ago today, February 10th. Okay, what is the best way to get materials right now without breaking the bank?
There is no best way to get material.
Still shopping, you still just putting the thing is you can't even do quotes because I can get a quote from 3 lumber yards right now and it's only going to last 3 days. So by the time I get off the third one and go back to the first one, that first number changed. So right now it's literally hit or miss, or at the time when you need it, who's the best person at that time, because it's like, okay, you submit your plan, they check it out, they tell you what you need, the price is this, 3 days later the price changed.
Yeah. He's right. Right now, I just did an estimate, David, for my next build. And I said, fuck it. I got to go ahead and hit it for 350,000. I just put a 350,000 on the budget. I said, I ain't even gonna take no motherfucking chances. 350,000 is gonna cost me to build this house.
What are they quoting you right now for like build? Because it went from like $20 a square foot to like $40 a square foot right now just for lumber. What are you hearing right now for new build?
I'm looking. I'm now at about $75 because I'm doing modern builds, and the wood we're using a 20+ foot long that's costing us $71.
Hold on, I gotta get a refill on that one.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah, that's crazy, right?
And then they stealing our shit.
What?
So Damien, question for you, and probably a good advice for people watching. Do you think it's cheaper to order from some of like the big box stores like Home Depot and Lowe's versus like local lumber yards that carry these type of products?
So for me, what I look at is, for me, when I measure expense, I measure time.
Mm-hmm.
Home Depot is always late. They never do it on time. So unless you're gonna, like, I actually have a courier that has a truck. So like when I do my orders at Home Depot, I don't use their delivery service. I'll call my guy and he'll pick it up and then drop it off at my job site. But if you're relying on their delivery service, I'd rather just go to my company that I use, Loomis, and then they'll drop it at my job site. If we have extra, they'll come back and pick it up. And it might cost a little bit more, but if I place an order today, I can get it dropped tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and that makes sense. That time makes sense, exactly, because, you know, not only is that accounting for time you spend as far as your lender and paying them back, but also your crews. You know how it is. Sometimes those crews, if you don't have them for a couple days, they don't book 2 more jobs, and they like, all right, give us in 2 weeks.
We'll come back when we're finished those jobs and bring it back into rotation.
Exactly. Yeah.
So Home Depot is on 2-day delivery. And if we need lumber for like Friday, we should have placed it early this morning to get it by Friday. That sucks, but Home Depot is actually building a warehouse.
Yeah, so they're actually doing it now?
Yeah, and it's gonna be ready by summer.
Okay.
Hopefully. And once they build that, the warehouse is gonna be, actually I seen the truck for the first time when they delivered our windows. And it said Home Depot Pro Services on the truck. So that's when I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, this has happened. He said, yeah, the warehouse is going to be done by the summer. We won't be going to stores. We'll be going straight to the warehouse to get your orders, and then we'll be able to deliver them in less than 24 hours.
Well,
so it's coming.
I'll wait for next year for them to perfect it. I give them a year to get all the bugs and kinks out and stuff like that, you know, because I love my people.
I get the discount. Sometimes it's worth it, but I also just spend a shitload of money dealing with a lumber house.
But you know, but to your point, you know, like when I'm ordering sheetrock and my doors and trim, I actually get a cheaper price at home because I get that bulk price, and then I get a discount when I order everything at one time. Because what I typically do is I'll order doors, trims, sheetrock at the same time. And I'll pay for it. You get the discount, but I'll still leave it in stores and then pick it up in pieces. So I don't pick up everything at once. I'll pick up my sheetrock first, because you know after the sheetrock goes up, his doors and trims. I have my guy that I was telling you about. He'll go and pick up the sheetrock for me. And this is before I used to pick up the sheetrock. When you see me, I know you guys will see me in the picture.
Yeah, I was like, dude tripping. I'll go ahead and pay for them to deliver it and use the boom, and they use the boom to push it to the window, and we done.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So he tripping, y'all. You ain't supposed to do that, Damien. You
not at all.
Do that.
Man, but you know, and it's learning and growing in your business, man, because you know, one of the things that my coaches told me is that, and it helped me really manage my time, is you're supposed to be doing the highest dollar activity in your business. So calculate how much money you're trying to make a year, then a month, then a week, then an hour. If the task that you're doing right now is not paying you what you're supposed to get an hour, you shouldn't be doing it.
You're right. That's called removing yourself as a technician in your business and becoming a business owner.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I couldn't sleep last night about is we need to hire somebody to help my husband, Michael, so that he can call him and say, go get this material, so that he can be better effective elsewhere other than at Home Depot driving around getting material. So you're right. You're absolutely right.
Definitely. Essentially, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, you're right.
Guys. So this next question here says, why is investing in real estate better than investing in the stock market? Right now, you have a lot of people who invest in real estate who are moving to the stock market because they feel like they're getting a better return on it, maybe faster than they would with real estate. But essentially, we've all seen that over the last year that the real estate market has went up, especially in the Atlanta area. So how do we kind of tell people like, hey, invest your money in real estate and not stocks? Like this is a better overall deal.
I had a property that I was selling, right? And this is right around when COVID hit. The buyer came to me, everything was good. COVID hit, the whole scare and everything happened. 2 days later, he lost 500,000 in the stock market.
Wow.
Guess what? He wasn't buying the property anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and he was past due diligence, but I'm like, I can't do that to him. So I'm like, it's okay, because I'm like, I'm not, you lost that type of money. I'm not chasing you down for earnest money. And so I'm saying, I understand. So one of the things that I'm looking at is, if everything crashes right now, the real estate market is not going to change in 2 days. It's going to take a while. It's going to gradually fall, but it's not going to be an overnight. Even in the 08 crash, it didn't happen overnight. It took
it didn't
to go down.
Mm-hmm.
So we can watch those things and position ourselves and see that fall and say, hold on 1 second, let's not buy it anymore and let's get rid of what we have right now. And also we buy 65 to 70% of the ARV. So we have so much equity that's in the property where we can sell and pay our lenders back and not have that issue.
Mm-hmm. But then also too, after 2008, remember when they was charging those crazy interest rates on these loans and crazy
12%, 19%.
Yes, and crazy LTV, ARV was like 55, 60%.
I was talking to the lender. He was like, in Las Vegas, every cab driver has had 3 houses. So they were just giving you a house. You want a house? You get a house. You get a house. You get a house. You wearing a black shirt. How you get approved? Breathe.
Oh my God. And then it was truck drivers that were dumping garbage. They was making $70,000-$80,000 a year as garbage people. We knew that wasn't real. So
Damien, do you invest in stock market too, or are you strictly?
I don't right now, because for me, I'm kind of like what you've been talking about is I don't think I've perfected my real estate business enough for me to step out of it right now. Until I get it to the point where I could say it's on autopilot, then I will start doing other things, because so going to something new and start over while you're still in a business that's not where it needs to be, for me, I think you're just setting yourself up for failure.
You're right. I agree.
Nicole, what do you think? Do you think real estate's a better investment than stock market right now?
Absolutely. I think the stock market for me has always been volatile. So I've never felt like the market, unless you know the market and you have the time and the ability to watch and be at the computer 24/7 to know when to pull the trigger, it's always been volatile to me.
Yeah. I've heard of people falling asleep and losing a lot of money.
Yeah.
They wake up and they're like,
what happened? What the hell happened? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Okay.
So no, real estate will always be good for me because I've been in real estate since forever. So I've been
what about you, Mark? What do you think?
I mean, for me, I definitely agree with you. I have so many other kind of quote unquote irons in the fire with other businesses that I wouldn't want to jump ship to get into stock investing when I'm not 100% on it. Now, I have friends that are in real estate that invest in stocks that make crazy money, and they message me about it all the time. So of course it definitely piqued my interest. And then of course I'm sure y'all seen over the last couple of weeks the whole thing with like
Yeah,
GameStop and all
yeah,
this stuff.
yeah,
So people were making $500,000 in 2 days, So it's like there's definitely money to be made there. But like Nicole said as well, it's so volatile. It was up 2 weeks ago and now it's down again, you know? And it's just like I don't have the time to sit in front of the computer all day, every day, just watching that,
yeah.
No, I got shit to
And
do,
I
sleep and
definitely
make money on the street.
yeah,
especially in I
and
can't I can't speak for all over the country, but especially in Atlanta, I definitely think it's a good investment right
yeah, right now, Atlanta is a strong market.
Yeah.
There's too much companies investing in Atlanta right now for it to go down right now.
now.
Yeah,
It's
I agree.
it's just like Amazon putting up another building every other day. I'm driving in places now, I'm like, wait, I drove over there two weeks ago. When Amazon put a building right here? It's crazy. It's crazy.
Exactly.
Wow.
Any
Wow.
any parking lot that's vacant, they buying it, and you see Amazon trucks taking over. So that
That's
all these people they don't have all those workers here. So a lot of people are flying in from other bigger cities where cost of living is way higher and coming here. I grew up in New York. A $500,000 house is a $250,000 house in Atlanta.
well, they can keep on coming because I need them to buy our houses.
Of
So
course, of course.
I need them to keep our economy going for sure.
New
We're the
York,
best. We've been the top dogs from day one. I don't know why they tripping.
I don't know why, but New York people love Atlanta.
They
Yeah,
sure do.
They really do. I think because you probably can get a lot of land here for cheaper than obviously you can up north, and you get more bang for your buck. They're used to paying $2,000 for a 900 square foot apartment. So you get a 4 bedroom house for 1,500, you winning. So
listen, I've seen some apartments in New York, and I'm like, you're paying $2,500. You're sharing a bathroom, kitchen, living room. Your fridge is in your room. If you open
oh
your room door and the fridge door at the same time, one of them got to go close. But you're paying $2,500 for that.
yeah,
Why? And why has New York
location.
always been that way? And why do people deal with that? I don't understand. I can't imagine. I won't imagine. I will not imagine.
I can't do it. No.
No, I'm spoiled.
But
Yeah.
think about this though, with what's going on in the market right now, they're saying you're gonna start seeing a lot more of home sharing because there's an app that came out now called Pad Split, and that's pretty much what it's doing. Like you can rent out one of your room off of this app, and it's kind of like a Airbnb, but it's for a long-term renter, but it's on an app now.
So
It's
yeah,
that's been out now for about 3 years.
yeah,
It was
I
before Airbnb.
I
Yeah, it was
actually
before Airbnb.
wholesaled the house to Pat Split 3 years ago. Yeah, when
Yeah,
they
yeah,
first came out, they were a vendor for South Atlanta RIA.
yeah,
And essentially, they're probably gotten bigger now. You're right, but they were very
yeah,
small, and that was their model. They do like almost like you said, like you rent the room, not the house,
Yeah.
and you split it with other people. And essentially, it's a good way for you not to be committed because I think it's week to week.
exactly.
And you're able to afford to live in a nice area because they were buying then in only Decatur. They were buying in Midtown.
It was downtown, Midtown.
Everybody really
Highly sought after areas where young professionals don't mind sharing because
Yes.
they just came out of a dorm where they're doing the same exact thing. So to go into the house and do it is like, okay, that's nothing. We just came out of a dorm sharing with 4 people anyways.
And more older people are moving out of their houses and going into the Pad Split because they no longer want their responsibilities. So it's growing and growing. There's like, if I can just rent a room and put a lock on my door, and then you can pay extra if you want your own bathroom or stuff like that. I mean, they don't even want to cook anymore. This thing is I knew it was going to be big, so we might need to be looking at that stock.
Yeah.
Hello, before they go. Yes,
like
we missed out on Airbnb. Don't miss out on Pad Split.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And we
Yeah.
actually talked about a couple weeks ago too, Nicole, about the Latino community. So they've estimated that they're the biggest buyers over the next 15 years because of that reason, Damien, because they will buy a 6-bedroom house and 2 or 3 families live there, you know. They would rather buy a house than rent. So they're buying houses at a more frequent rate than African Americans, Asians, and even some Caucasians. So that's definitely a market that you got to kind of look for over the next couple of years as well. So, you know,
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. To anything to make money while I sleep. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think investors that were typically building smaller houses back in the days, like 3-1s and 3-2s, you're now seeing them move to a little bit bigger. So 4-2s, 4-2.5, 5-3s. You know, you're starting to see more of that because it actually probably will sell more if they know that they can potentially have a roommate or a family member live with them. So
makes sense.
All right, guys.
And now the additional dwelling units that they're putting on the back too. So put all of that together.
Yeah, mother-in-law suites and all that stuff. Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna do me one of those next. I'm gonna do one of those.
You want to do one of those?
I'm gonna do a house with a mother-in-law suite in the back, with 2 mother-in-law suites in the back and a pool. That's the next house I'm gonna do. Huh?
You said 2?
Yeah, 2. A house, a pool, and 2 mother-in-law suites in the back.
That's for her mother and his mother. So if both of them come, they can stay, but they're in the back.
They don't get along.
So if I don't like your mama and you don't like my mama, no problem. We'll just put them in the back. No problem.
on top of the garage.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
I like that. All right, guys. This next question here. This topic says, Atlanta schools and many other large cities such as New York, Chicago, LA, Miami, Charlotte are contemplating mandating summer school for kids who missed so much this year due to COVID. What do you think? Is it a good idea or no?
I think it should be everyone's choice. I don't think you should force anybody into making any decisions. If the parents want to do it, that's on them. But I don't think you should hold somebody back either. I think you should create some other form of way to still help them if they choose not to, because it's like, you can't tell me what to do. And that's where the biggest thing is, when you want to when you start mandating things, like you're taking away our freedom.
Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I mean, for me, I don't have kids, so obviously, you know, maybe my opinion might be biased. You have kids, Damien, that are probably school age. So I don't know, what has your experience been over the last year trying to, like, you know, homeschool versus regular school versus, you know, them missing days because of this or that and the other? Like, what do you feel like?
For me, my daughter is doing good. My son is 3, so he's like a date. My daughter is doing virtual schooling, but my son is doing actual like daycare where he's going out. But they're doing okay. But I'm just thinking about when I was a kid. Like, I got ADD. I'm still every class on Zoom because I have to look at this screen the whole time and sit in the chair. Nope, I'm gonna fail because that's not for me. So I think they just need to create better systems to say, what can we do to help out right now, because it's not their fault that this pandemic occurred, and we need to just really come together and put something in place to really manage it better. And I think they can, because, you know, like for my son's school, every day they check our temperature. Parents can't even go into the building. Only kids and the teachers goes in the building, and they could do something similar. It might take longer, but guess what? At least now kids are safer in school and doing things that they need to do, because everybody learn different. So it's up right now.
Yeah. And I think that, you know, saying summer school is an easy out. You know, that's an easy, okay, well, y'all just go to school for 2 more months, you know. You just make it up here instead of whatever, you know. And, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, it's not only affecting the students, but it's affecting the teachers, you know. I know so many friends that are teachers that during the summer, they do so much other stuff. You know, they travel or they work side jobs or they visit family or whatever. So now you're telling these teachers that usually have planned out their summers.
Yeah.
Work for another more money.
You know what? I didn't even think about that. Because think about it, I already bought the tickets for the months we going out. You talking about what? I have to stay.
Exactly. So I would think that's not fair for me. You know, I understand their sentiment behind it, not wanting kids to get behind because you know they miss so much school due to whatever, and obviously
Mhm.
virtual learning is harder than in person, but still.
But if
Yeah.
you want to go to another topic, for me, and this is my opinion, I don't think school service anyways, but that's just me saying that because for if you want to really go back in this, and it's a whole nother topic, but the school system is teaching assembly line workers. That's what they're teaching. They're not teaching some of the technology right now. They don't even teach you in school to do it. So how are we growing to be better in the future when the future is way ahead of what you're teaching in school right now?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
you feel like the education has caught up to where we are now.
No, of course not. No. But if you're paying attention, aren't you seeing a lot more ads about teaching kids how to code? Don't you
Yeah.
see that now? All of a sudden now you're seeing a bunch of ads. We're teaching kids how to code for free because guess what? That's gonna be usable in the future. The way we're going and everything is so automated right now. We half the things that we're learning right now is gonna be obsolete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, that's good advice. I think, like you said, I mean, I think it's up to every parent, obviously, and whoever has school age kids to really figure out what's the best path for them. But I agree with Damien. It's all about your choice, you know. Nicole, I don't know about you, but like, if your kids are school age now, is that something you feel like you would be okay with, or no?
Well, one, I ain't got no dog in this fight, so
Well, I said if you know you're.
yeah, I'm gonna, but I am going to say this. For years, they have been talking about summer school, making it a formal time of school for the kids. And kids need that off time. They need to be off. They need to have that time to go and just think about themselves and and not have to go through that. And I just don't think that putting them in school in summer is going to change or make anything or put them back on top. I just don't think I don't think it's going to happen because we are mentally programmed to know that by June we're off. We off. I'm out of here. I can go and relax and chill until August. So why are you trying to set me up for failure? That to me, that's setting people up for failure. It's gonna be 95% of them kids that is not going to excel in school.
Yep. Because think
Period.
about it as you said right now.
Mhm.
Most of life you was off in June, and all of a sudden now you want to tell me that I'm not. And you're already programmed, as you said, to be off in June and shut my brain off. You're gonna get mushed.
Yes. Yes. They're not going to have. There's not going to be that much success at all. Period. Now, if there are kids that is like, I'm trying to get out of school. I want to be done with this. I want to move on with my life.
Yes.
Let them go.
Yes.
Let them go. But the ones who don't want it, don't force them because it's just not going to be good.
I agree. Good advice, y'all.
See, when we were growing up, we was off June to September. Labor Day was when we knew we had to go back to school. So we planned for our outfits right around the end of August or September, going back to school sale. We go get back to our fresh gear on the first week of school. That was how we rolled. And then they want to push that back. Now we're back in school in August. Now they trying to push us back in July. Now they're trying to push us back. Never. No, that ain't gonna work. Nah.
Did y'all used to have tax-free weekend?
Yeah.
No. We did?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, they did for back to school. They'll give you tax-free weekend.
Yeah, that one weekend where you go shop at everything tax-free.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that? Oh, I remember that. Look, that was the only time I could get them Nikes. Now they were like 99.
That was but like, we was in high school in the 80s, so I don't remember none of that. So I don't know what you talking about.
She said change the subject. She said change the subject. You trying to tell her age right now? Change the subject. Change the subject.
It was so cheap in the 80s. They didn't need that tax-free. See, that's what it was.
But the funny thing though is, was it or inflation was just lower at the time? So it was like for me,
it was just lower.
Probably both. Yeah, really, definitely.
You know, the prices, the cost of things never change. It's just the inflation that keeps going up. you invest in real estate. So the higher the inflation go, the higher your house price go, the more your money is worth.
Exactly.
Yes,
I definitely agree with
exactly.
that. Okay, guys. So this next topic, I actually had 2 people that messaged me about it this week, which is why I definitely wanted to add it in, especially knowing that Nicole is a tax professional. So a lot of business owners are a little bit confused, I think, this year about doing their tax deductions. You know, a lot of times we do mileage deductions, we do deductions on certain things, networking events, this, that, or the other. But with COVID, I mean, a lot of us stayed home. A lot of people that office spaces were working from home. A lot of people that were used to doing this or doing Zoom now. So what is kind of some good deductions that they can do to save the most money this year due to COVID kind of related items?
Well, I'm still trying to figure that out. The home office deduction never gave anyone any return as much as just regular Schedule C expenses. So at this point, I'm just gonna hold tight on that because I'm still working on a few clients in regards to that. It's not looking good for a lot of people. I am advising anyone who had a Schedule C business to be very honest this year. And if you did not materially participate in running a business, do not put it on your taxes.
Okay.
Check the box that says did not materially participate in the business in 2020. And the reason for that is because I know these returns are going to be, they're going to be flagged by the IRS. Schedule C business.
Yeah.
Schedule C businesses, what I'm talking about, are going to be audited because they know we were home. They know we were at home. We know we weren't 100% working our businesses. So as a sole prop. So I just want everybody to just go ahead.
Now, us in real estate, because even during the time with COVID shutdown, we were still able considered
necessity. Yeah.
So how about that side of it?
That right there is golden. You're fine. But we're not set up as a Schedule C sole prop. We better be an LLC. You better be an LLC or S corp. Yeah. So I'm not worried about those people. I'm worried about the ones who have these businesses under Schedule C as a sole prop that they were using to offset their taxes. And I'm just being very honest with every single person that comes through this door today. I was like, did you participate in your business? Nope. Then we are not putting that one single red expense on your return. All those people who went home and worked from home, that's a very sketchy situation. It's see, there was a form called a 2106, which was a expense form that I was allowed to use when you were a W-2 employee and you were working for a W-2 employer where you had unreimbursed expenses. That form no longer, technically, you can't even use it. It doesn't even exist. That's where you were allowed to take expenses for working from home, which is your telephone, which is your internet, which is any office furniture you would have bought. So what do we do now? Because that form is not there. Yeah. So you have all these people who had to go home and work. They had to buy a whole office with computers, desks, printers, paper, office supplies, beef up their internet service. You know, all of those things took place, and I'm not seeing where the IRS code has opened and allowed
that to get discounted for that. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah. So you know what? Maybe that's something we touch base in a couple weeks again.
Yeah, I'm just telling people, listen, it is what it is. If we need to amend, if the IRS decides to update their code to allow for these expenses to be generated on a larger scale, then we'll just amend the return and adjust it then. But at this point, there's nothing been put in place.
Well, you know how fast they operate, so even if they do, it's going to be next year.
Exactly.
I mean, and for me, Damien, you know, I was adding it up the other day, and you know, I spent, no joke, I'll be 100% honest, $680 on Zoom. That was what I paid to Zoom because I have a premium subscription with them to be able to do webinars and live Facebooks like we're doing now. So that's not an expense that I had last year. The year before, I had a free account where, you know, it could be like 5 people on there and then they max you out after 40 minutes. You know, so
So,
I feel like that's an expense. I'm like, hey, let me add this on because of my business. Same thing with my internet. I upgraded to unlimited internet now because, like Nicole said, from March to July, pretty much we were home working all the time. We weren't in the office and we weren't,
So
you know, how
everybody
we
and
usually
see
were. So
and see what everybody is did what everybody did after March is what me and my husband already have said. We've already had a business internet account at the house. We already had a business internet, set here at the office. So we didn't have no stops. Our business just kept rolling. But the people who were new to having to be at home 24/7, they realized that what they were paying for was not going to suffice to continue to work for those people, and that's the W-2 employers. So you can, it's
Yeah.
very hard to take that deduction, and you technically can't take business use home deduction unless you are generating income.
yeah. And two, you're not even, a lot of them are not even paying themselves a W-2 check, so they're taking draws. So you can't even do that. That's a whole nother thing in itself right there.
Exactly.
it really
So
is.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where we are. It's to be continued. To
Okay.
be
We're
continued.
gonna
My
put a
job is
start
never
on that.
easy. My brain don't never shut
Probably.
off.
Or do you have two of you, or it's just one?
Huh?
It's two of you or just one? Because like I'm on the real estate side alone, and you doing both, and I'm like, those are both two serious business where it takes a lot of your time.
Yeah. I typically
they really
have,
are.
I have an
the
assistant
thing
that's
about-
starting, I actually told her I wanted her to start on the 15th. So I'm gonna have her coming in to answer the phones and start doing stuff for me because I can't, ain't no mother freaking way I can go on like this. There's no way. So
But the thing
I didn't want
about
her to
it
come
is,
around me because
you know,
we had COVID, me and Michael had COVID, and I didn't, all of January. And I just didn't want to take any chances infecting anybody. But we had the whole office fumigated and cleaned. And now I told her, I said, there's no way I can do this. I got to bring you back. So here we are. Yeah. I
but what I was gonna
spend,
say, Nicole, like last year, I mean, at the end of April, it kind of died down, basically,
no,
But essentially,
COVID.
it was like
COVID
crazy.
ended it in March. COVID last year
Well,
ended in March.
I'm talking about the tax business, But essentially, it was pretty busy. You were
Yeah,
pretty busy.
and a norm. Yeah,
So,
in April. Yeah, he's right.
like the end of April. Yeah. But then once that happens, it kind of dies off, and you always get your people that are reaching out that are like late or whatever. But yeah, you're right. These first 4 months of the year, I don't know how you do it. I would be
nuts.
So I know I lost a lot of clients, and I'm okay with that. It's because I decided I'm not taking any in-person appointments at all. But all those that love me has called me on my phone. They said, I completely understand. Where do I email my docs? And so that's cool with me because then I can set my schedule. Huh?
Send me a DM. If y'all interested in getting your taxes done, send me a DM. I'm gonna refer you to Nicole, and then she's gonna pay me that referral fee.
Yes. Because all they gotta do is email their documents
or
and
you
be done.
DM Damien. Me and Damien both taking referral fees. Look.
You don't have to say that twice.
But Damien, to answer your question, to answer your question, Damien, because Michael became a GC at the end of the year, it freed me up from having to be out in the day-to-day field and activities a lot. Although I still feel like that's my baby and I need to go out there and check on it, he basically kicks me out. He's like, I got this. You need to go back to the office. So
that's good though when you have that team.
Yeah. So it helps, and then he helped free up some of my time. We're getting big. We're going to get better. We're all going to get better with our time management. And it's important that you hire people to do the things. We need to remove ourselves as technicians, as I said earlier on in this call, and become business owners. And part of that is hiring people to manage the day-to-day activities of what we're doing. And what we got to do, Damien, is every time you do a project, you put in the project your project management fee.
Yeah.
That pays you.
Yeah.
that pays you, that
I
pays your
wasn't doing
wife.
that
and she
before. Yeah, I wasn't doing that before, but we're starting to do that now. Yeah.
boom, boom,
Yeah.
the clock went
That's
off
exactly
on
what we realized.
January.
Yeah.
In
Because,
January,
because
I
it's
put
like
20%.
you calculating all them things, and you like, okay, read that, and that's the funny thing. That's kind of why we had to start wholesaling. We were forced to wholesale. We didn't do wholesaling on purpose. We're like, okay, we got these rehabs going. Yeah, but you don't got no money though. Oh,
None.
Exactly.
yeah.
You
So
gotta,
we had
do
to
that.
start selling
Pay
stuff quick.
yourself a salary. You gotta pay yourself a weekly salary, regardless if the money's coming or not. Pay yourself first
Yeah.
before you pay out any
Yeah.
expenses.
And
That was the lesson that I took.
that led to reading the profit first, and that changed the way how we did our business completely.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I'm doing now. No more
Yeah.
trying to save some money here and there. Hail to
Yeah.
the Miss Hall. I send out
Yeah.
payroll every Friday to me and him. Boom, and I add it into every project that we do. The cost. Gotta
Yeah.
do that because we can't go on like this.
And if my project management fee can't go on the deal, it don't make sense.
It don't. Hello. Yes. Yes. Oh, we're winding on down. We only got like 8 minutes left. So what other stuff?
Yeah, we got one more topic left.
Okay.
Which is the one I think everybody's been talking about all day today, which is that Zillow buys MLS service Showtime for $500 million. Okay. What
I
is
don't know anything about that.
agents and investors as using Zillow as a sales tool?
So Zillow been plotting that for a long time ago. Because remember when Zillow first came, oh, we're here to help agents. It's okay. Send all your stuff here. We're working with you. Then they went to, if you're not signed up to us, we're not showing no information.
Yeah.
Now they bought MLS, and guess what? For sale by owners love just listing stuff to Zillow. So guess what happens? Zillow actually give loans. You know that, right? You could get a loan with Zillow to buy a house, a 30-year mortgage with Zillow.
Wow.
So like they're getting all the for sale by owners because guess what? They got to verify that property before they list it. So guess what? Who looking at it first? They're looking at it and talking to these people before they actually list it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Wow.
I think for me, I'm like you, Damien. I've seen the progression of Zillow. You know, we saw them where they first got into. It's been like maybe 3 years, right? That they first got into buying houses. Yeah, remember? And then last year they bought Dotloop, which is kind of like
Yeah, it's a DocuSign program.
DocuSign service.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they bought Dotloop. Now they're
It was part of
Showtime. And then, you know, there was some stuff a couple months ago where I guess agents, if they weren't a Zillow preferred agent and paying that cost every month,
show you anything.
They weren't showing any sales and any listings and any of that stuff. So it's like, I feel like almost, I don't want to say monopoly, but I almost feel like they're trying to monopolize the game.
Well, if it walks like a duck, it quack like a duck, and it has feathers like a duck, it's a duck.
they needed to make like we do in business. They needed to find an alternative way to generate income, and they did that by figuring out that every agent is using a product that's provided by both MLS systems.
Yeah.
So therefore, why not take that over? Because FMLS offers it as part of the package and show as GMLS as part of the package. But now who knows where this is going to go? And if they purchase it, they may even try to say, oh, it's $6.99 a day like Discovery Plus.
Exactly.
You know, that kind of situation.
But now what you got to look at though is I'm wondering which way it's going to go, because you can still use other services that's free.
True.
So
True.
But if you're an agent and that's already linked to the service that you use, so like Nicole's an agent, your wife's an agent, so they use the FMLS, and automatically when they do a request, showing times automatically linked to it.
Yeah.
Now you're having to do 2, 3, 4 more steps to just set up a showing versus just click. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Showtime was monopolizing the game. I mean, it really was on both sides, FM and GM. They was monopolizing the game. So now we don't even know what direction this is actually going in.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
So, because you know, HomeSnap has been stepping up too, because HomeSnap was starting to become something like Zillow right now. So it's these companies are changing and evolving very quickly right now.
From what I've seen, Zillow, Knock, I can't remember the other one, like Offer something, HomeSnap.
OfferPad.
Yeah, they're all buying houses, and not just buying houses, but they're buying the houses at a higher price point than we would. So if Damien comes in and offers 110 to the owner, they're gonna offer 140 just cause,
But guess what? The owners actually might net higher with me than them, because they're gonna offer you more. But by the time they put their fees and their originations and all of that, you be looking like you make $90,000 on the house. But it sounds nice when you see a higher offer come. So that's how teaching people.
Gotta read the fine print.
Yeah.
You gotta read the fine print. I agree. I had something that I was thinking when you were saying that. Well, before you went into that, shoot, my mind just went completely blank on that. The bottom line is, we have, just so you guys know, we are the only state that was open throughout COVID period.
Yeah.
And every other state was shut down, and
We
all
were shut down for maybe like 3 weeks, but I don't even think it was a real shutdown.
No, it really wasn't. It wasn't long enough for us to even have a memory of it. But bottom line is, all the other states were. And so they took a bigger hits than we thought we were going to take, and we did not. And so that generated for the businesses that was in this state to come up with other alternative ideas to capitalize, is the word, capitalize on what was happening here. So like, I got investors now in California that are contacting me and they're like, hey, I got money. What can you do for me? And I was like, oh, for real? I didn't think y'all wanted to be in this Georgia backyard country ass state y'all talking about type situation. Oh, okay. I want your money. All right, let's make this happen. So I say all to say that I'm glad that we did not take the hit as hard as we did in 2008, 09. It was 7, 08, not 9, because 9 is when I started making money again. But we took the hardest and biggest hit ever. We were the hardest hit state. I think we were number 5 as the hardest hit state in the country when it came back in those areas of a lot of foreclosures and stuff like that. I'm just glad we did not go in that direction again and that we're blossoming. But what I want to stop is these little nigglets breaking into my car, smashing my windows, checking my doors, trying to find any and everything he can. Get you a job, because we are in real estate. We got work for you. Just call us. That's all we have.
Nicole, and I'm not trying to like demean what's happened to you or anybody else, but when you look at the crime in Atlanta, I'm gonna give you an example. Last year in Atlanta, they had 200 murders, okay? The year before they had 99. So they said it was up 100% or whatever, okay? But if you look at other large cities that are similar to Atlanta, Chicago had 4,000 last year.
I get it, yeah.
At 3,200. LA is like 3,000. We're nowhere compared to that. So really, we complain and bitch about stuff like that, but like our crime rate compared to other large cities that we are kind of on level with is nothing like that. So.
All right.
I say be happy for the little things. It sucks in the moment, don't get me wrong, but it could be worse is essentially what I'm saying.
I told you, buy the block.
Oh yeah, that's the goal though. You're right. So once
we don't buy the block,
then a lot of those issues aren't there anymore, So
I do have a question for Damien. So being in Lakewood, I remember Lakewood from back in the day. And you bought 40 plus homes, and I'm very happy to hear that you did that. How many more do you think you can get in that area to keep you going for the next couple of years?
It's so all that's gonna happen right now is there's still so much property that's vacant, and there's still so much situations, because our business is to provide solutions. So like typically, even right now, we're trying to talk to, not trying to, I'm taking trying out of my vocabulary. We're talking to as much sellers as possible, whether it's vacant or not, just because we're like, okay, how can we help you in a situation right now? A lot of time people reach in certain situations and need help. So we're just here right now to provide a solution to anyone right now, distressed property or a distressed seller, no matter what the condition of the property. So sometimes you'd be surprised. We get properties. We have a 2008 property on the contract right now. It's perfect. The house is perfectly fine, but the seller had an issue with they had to go into. So it's not really what the property looked like. It couldn't. They had it listed. It couldn't sell, but we came in and bought, we're gonna buy the property because we can help them out of that situation right now.
Okay.
I think unless every single house is renovated in the whole neighborhood, then all I'm gonna do is go back to the first renovation I did and say, how's this house looking right now? What's your situation? How can I help?
So I have a
jump in on that real quick, Nicole, is that I have a client that's doing something similar to that, Damien, where like they're not in Lakewood, but what they do is, like Nicole said, if you flip all the houses in Lakewood along with other investors, Nicole's like, where are you going from there? Like, what's your goal? He's going back to investors that maybe flipped properties over there 10 years ago that are now dated.
Yep.
Or they did shitty rehabs, to be honest.
Oh yeah, I remember those. Yeah.
And be like, hey, now I can buy this and either hold it or wholesale it off and turn it again, you know, and it seems like a short time frame, but you know, you have investors like that who didn't do a full rehab like they should have.
Not even that. I bought a property in Lakewood. It's in Southeast Atlanta, and I was the third investor to do a full rehab on it because I talked to the neighbors. They said I was the third investor to do a full rehab on this property. So think about it.
On the same house?
Same house. Same house.
Wow.
Rehab. Like you did kitchen, bathroom, everything.
Yeah. So think about that though. Because as you said, over time, styles change, codes change, things get dated. The codes from last year is different from this year. So now, property, and even if it's not even that dated, if you're gonna touch certain things, you have to bring it up to code. Guess what? You're changing your whole electrical panel right now.
Changing everything. Are you doing tankless? Because I think, are you doing tankless water heaters?
I'm looking into it. Here's the funny thing. One of the sellers that actually called us this week, we went and walked the property. The property was bought last September, fully renovated. They went out of the property for exactly what Marcus just said. They did a crappy renovation. Horrible renovation. So guess what? For me to go in there and make sense, I'm gonna have to literally go into that house and gut it to make sure everything was done right and
because you don't want to put your name on something that you have no idea. I get it.
We have every single house that we've sold. The homeowners have my personal number right now. You do not hear my phone ringing.
So I have a challenge for you for 2021.
Okay.
Let's collab on something. I don't know whether it be East Point or your area, together as a team, all of us, and let's build a house that's going to be completely different than any of the ones that we ever did. So that means it's going to be square footage is going to be larger. We're going to collaborate on our ideas. I think it will be a fun project.
Yeah, I think so.
Do on HGTV.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
That would be fun.
That like a bomb-ass farmhouse type vibe in Lakewood would be crazy.
Here's the next thing what we could think about too. Even getting some of your viewers involved in some of the decision making. Like, hey, we're gonna pick. What do you think will get votes? Yeah, that would be fun.
I'm down for that.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's make that happen for 2021 at some point.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. And then you mentioned a walkthrough, so we'll schedule a walkthrough between now and the end of the month for my property. And if you have one, let's schedule one for you. And we're gonna video it. We need to get us a photographer, a videographer.
Well,
we want to put on both our websites.
He did one on our birthday weekend. You know, it was me and Nicole's birthday that week. So
Oh, that's okay. I'll let you pass then, because y'all ain't come, but it's all right though.
I
I'll let
had
you pass
COVID.
your birthday.
I had COVID.
She
I
was
was
sick.
quarantined.
I was drunk. Look, it was a lot going on that week.
Yeah, I was quarantined. I couldn't do
Yeah,
nothing. And then my husband was still in the hospital, so I could not be around anybody and get him.
We had 70 people. We had 70 people out there. The cops came and we had to let them know, like, hey, we're not like trying to
I had a block party. He didn't have no block party.
It was crazy. Like when it ended, people were actually had to go on the next blocks to find parking because the street was full.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's nice. Okay.
So we got a top 70 people. Y'all, everybody hear this? We need 75 at our walkthrough.
So we'll do a huge campaign and with all of our business info, all 3 of our business info, and we'll make it a party.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Well, thank y'all for tuning in to Wind Down Wednesday tonight. This is a good show. I feel like we definitely touched on all the topics. I feel like we got a lot of knowledge answers. I literally just looked at my Facebook Messenger and I have 8 messages from people watching tonight. So that's always a good sign.
Yeah.
That they have questions and want to know more.
Yeah, I'm looking at them too. Yeah.
So thank y'all for tuning in. Damien, thank you so much for being our guest tonight.
Oh, no problem.
And we'll see y'all next Wednesday.
All right, and stay tuned.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.